perhaps now's the time to expound one of my dreams, which is, and it actually is an article I wrote for F1 Racing magazine. I think it was in 2000. I think it was something to do for the new millennium, and it was that the drivers no longer sign a year or 2 or 3 year contract with a team. They are properties that are wonderful, they're promoted and they're very talented, but the drivers can only do 6 races a year for one team, and you can't do two races in succession. I think that was the formula I came up with. And before every race on a Thursday night, there is a massive global auction, and you have the team owners bidding for the services of these drivers, and they can bid obviously whatever money they can get hold of through sponsorship or whatever. And they have to plan where they want to go with drivers. And that auction in itself would become unbelievable television, in the same way that, for those that know anything about cricket, the IPL auction is a huge thing. It's almost bigger than the tournament itself. And then, then you end up with a Sergio Perez in a Mercedes for a race, and a Lance Stroll in a Ferrari, and then you've got Max Verstappen in a Williams. It's going to happen at some point. Better for the teams, because they can go out and say, look, we are Williams, we're going to have Max, we're going to have Lewis driving for us at some point. I think that would be absolutely brilliant. I'm sure it will never happen, because the teams would say, but in order to get the best from the driver, we need to share all the technology with them over a long period of time. It's an investment that we make. So therefore, we wouldn't be able to give any information to any of the drivers. So it would be impossible to do. Well, I say that's rubbish, because how often Giancarlo Fisichella jumped from a Force India straight into a Ferrari, did he not? And he didn't have to go through 3 years of university in order to understand how to drive the car. And drivers get into new cars when they switch teams, and they go out, they do a lap time straight away. You could do it. You could actually come up with limits on what you're allowed to talk about and what you're not. And I think, this would solve all the problems. You wouldn't have any more chat about reverse grid races or trying to make the races shorter. It would just be brilliant. But anyway, it'll never happen. I'm only saying all of that because it comes to, if we did that, then I think that would affect the lower categories as well, and how everybody, as well as and the way everybody makes money or tries to raise money. I think that would change the face of motorsport, and that would possibly enable us to go back into some sort of prize money era. So bring it on. And in my fictitious novel, I think at that point Alex Wurtz was the president of the FIA from memory. I think I had somebody else quite cool in another strong position. I can't remember. You could have Toto in as the head of Liberty or whatever, running the world. So that would be good.